You've risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left is Scholar Tarek.
God, I hate you, WWE. How could you do something so stupid? Hello, people of the internet wrestling community.
It's okay. We're just suppressing the beast until we can get through the rest of the show. But I assume if you're a fan of wrestling at all, you know what we're talking about.
Maybe I'm wrong about this, but the beast it doesn't include selling out.
But we'll get into all that selling out talk in just a moment. But for now, let's go into something a little bit lighter. Let's go into a little bit of backstage news.
Indeed. Let us start how we always start, by peeking behind the curtain and checking in on a little backstage news.
Meh.
Don't do it. Brian, you're not here. We miss you.
You're on assignment.
For personal reasons.
Do what you gotta do. Fight the good fight.
No meh.
No meh.
So shame on you with the meh.
Well, at least I didn't shriek in your ear this time, so as far as I'm concerned, you're still ahead of the game.
Still, no meh.
Okay, no more meh for the future.
No more meh until Brian comes back, and then we have no choice. We're going to have to deal with that shit.
Alright, speaking of meh, apparently this week Solomon Crowe has been released.
What?
A.K.A. Sami Callihan.
I read this, but I didn't find out why.
Apparently he just asked for his release. Apparently...
Really? I actually didn't...
Growing frustrations, probably?
Huh. That's actually kind of disappointing to hear.
Yeah, everyone had such high hopes for this guy, but for some reason it just did not.
He just wasn't. Well, was he just not comfortable with where he is? Was it just too much for him?
As far as why he didn't really take off, to me, it seemed like nothing was really clicking as it should have. For me personally, I got really hyped up about Sami Callihan or Solomon Crowe or whatever.
Whatever he wants to be called.
Yeah. And then he cut a promo on one of his opening promos on, who was Sami Callihan? Solomon Crowe is. And then he says something about the Song of Solomon will be sung. And I'm like, do you know what the Song of Solomon actually is?
Born on a Monday?
No, that's Solomon Grundy.
Okay. It's a Solomon.
No. No. Actually, the Song of Solomon is a love poem in the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as I heard that, I was like, Song of Solomon, really? It just instantly took me right out. I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
And I'm dead.
And I'm lost.
You killed it for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It seemed like after that, he never quite got his momentum back in anybody's eyes, and it was just sort of going stagnant for a while, so I guess he just...
When was this? When did he ask for his release?
Just this week.
Was it yesterday?
No, I think it was actually the day before Thanksgiving.
It's like, I'm thankful for finally getting out of that company.
Yep. I'm going back to PWG and, banging my girlfriend.
Okay.
Jessica
Good for
Havoc.
you. Oh, I know.
Okay, just as long as we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about, but it's just like, I'm banging my girlfriend.
Yep.
Whatever helps you sleep at night?
Oh, it does. It does. Anyway, best in your future endeavors, Sammy. Hopefully you don't go back to Solomon or the song of it. In any case, talk to people being released. Brad Maddox has also been released.
I read this. It was one of the dumbest reasons I have ever seen someone getting released.
Because he cursed at a house show.
Because he called someone a cocky prick. Or he called the crowd cocky pricks. Really? I'm pulling a misface here. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I suppose he was on thin ice as it was.
So the last real memory of Brad Maddox is dressing up as a turkey and getting tombstoned by The Undertaker on Jimmy Fallon.
Let's face it, there's worse ways to go out.
I preferred watching him on the background of Up, Up, Down, Down while Xavier Woods and Stardust were playing Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, let's face it, if I had legitimate aspirations to be a serious wrestler and I just ended up putting on a turkey suit and taking a tombstone from The Undertaker on Jimmy Kimmel Live...
Fallon. Again,
Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Jesus, get your Jimmy straight, little Jimmy.
I will get my Jimmy straight. In any
Pigeons.
case, bitches. In any case, if he's really taking himself that seriously, I can see why he might have wanted to have been released in the first place. And even if that is a legitimate slip up on his part, yeah, he didn't exactly have a lot of leeway to really mess up.
So I guess it's Impact Wrestling for him now.
Probably.
Because I don't see him going into Ring of Honor.
Hey, who knows
Or
where
New
he's going to
Japan.
end up.
I see him just jumping onto another sinking ship.
Well, hey, apparently Juice Robinson is starting to take off in New Japan, so who knows?
Juice fruit.
Who knows? He could very well end up there, and who knows? Maybe he'll.
I just don't see it.
Hey, I didn't expect Juice Robinson to ever occur in, especially that name, Juice Robinson. What are we talking about?
Okay.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Good luck with your future endeavors, Brad Maddox. Thank you for being a Raw GM for, what, a month?
About for a cup of coffee. And I just realized all this backstage news is about people stepping down or leaving or asking for their releases or getting fired. Because this last one, apparently Kurt Angle is retiring, at least from TNA.
Oh my lord. You know what?
Quite frankly, I'm amazed he's lasted that long.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm hoping, at least in some way, shape, or form, that he comes back to WWE for one more run. At least on NXT. Wouldn't you? How awesome would it be to see Kurt Angle wrestling, let's say, Samoa Joe or
Again.
Okay, stop it. Again, well, this time on WWE TV.
Hey.
Finn Balor.
Honestly, I don't think they could put him anywhere but the main roster, since he is technically a former world champion.
But still, if he wants to, like, he's still not doing very well, like, physical-wise. Isn't his neck still kind of messed up?
It's been a while, honestly, since I kept in touch with, or at least kept up to date with Kurt Angle's health history. It just seems like all the news I sort of got from the Kurt Angle camp was bad, so I just sort of started phasing it out.
Cause yeah, I heard it was still on the case of the bad side, so I figured showing up on the Little League, helping putting new future talent over, helping them develop, like, hell, even becoming a trainer.
That would be a nice idea.
Especially for someone like a Olympic gold medalist in Kurt Angle.
With a broken freaking
With
neck.
a broken freaking neck. Thank you. Bring our Olympic hero home. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And the one thing that does give me hope is, the only thing, while he did say the word retire, he did also specifically say the line, retiring from TNA. So a lot of people are speculating that, oh, maybe he's talking about going into MMA or teaching or something.
I don't see him going in MMA.
I don't either, but, rumors are rumors.
Well, good luck with all your TNA future endeavors, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, thank you for finally slowing down. Just please stay healthy.
You don't suck.
You do not suck, absolutely. But speaking of things sucking...
Oh, saying this pay-per-view sucks is an understatement.
Yes, we're talking about it. We're talking about Survivor Series 2015. Hoo boy, this one was a doozy.
I told you this because we all watched it together. You, me, Brian, we all went over our friend Charlie's house to watch this monstrosity. And I automatically said it. This is taking my worst pay-per-view for the Scholars Awards next month.
Well,
TLC. There's nothing TLC can do with this one. Like, TLC can also be a bad pay-per-view, but the difference is this one had high hopes.
Definitely.
We were all looking forward to this event because Seth Rollins getting injured to pretty much something that we've been talking about on this show for the past 2 weeks, the possibilities where they could have went with this.
Let's dive right in and break it down individually.
Oh, let's
let's start with the first Survivor Series tag match of the night.
The kickoff show.
On the kickoff show of all things. Dudley Boyz Neville, Titus O'Neil, and the returning Goldust going over the team of the Gold Stardust, tripping over myself.
Cosmic Wasteland.
Cosmic Wasteland, yeah, those guys. Miz and Bo Dallas.
You know what's so funny? I was pointing this out all night. And I'm going to mention it again when we talk about the other Survivor Series match. I called both heel teams.
I know, yeah, I remember you did that.
Yeah, I had a list because I posted on our Facebook page. I posted it on I shared it on my Facebook page. Scholars Quick Talk for everyone else. Make your own Survivor Series match since WWE wasn't doing it. And of course, the one Scholars Quick Talk that I brought up, a Survivor Series match will be will be in the pre-show. That actually came into fruition.
Disappointment number one.
Well, actually, you know what? I was expecting it.
Really, a Survivor Series match on a kickoff show?
A lower card Survivor Series match. And that's exactly what it was. It was a lower card group of Survivor Series matches. Or Survivor Series match. One thing, the sad part about Cesaro getting injured, he didn't have to be in this match. Because he was booked in it. Titus O'Neil was his replacement.
Now it makes sense.
Titus O'Neil was the replacement because Cesaro got hurt. Hence, why the hell was Cesaro in the pre-show? He had a 5-star match. You know what? I'm not even going to go. I'm going to stop myself right there.
We've got a long night.
We got a long night ahead of us. I'm not going to be complaining about something that didn't happen. But okay, the match itself.
The match itself, yes.
It was a decent kickoff match. So it was a pretty I had really the only real complaint was like, oh wow, of all the people to get eliminated, it was Neville. Someone had to take the fall. But
hey, at least it wasn't Cesaro.
All in all, nothing huge came out of this. It's probably starting a Goldust Stardust feud, hopefully giving us the Stardust Goldust match at WrestleMania that we've been wanting for the past 2 years.
Yeah, the returning Goldust, of course. I've loved Goldust for a long time now.
Me too.
Goldust is great, especially as he's matured as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing him come back, that was a nice surprise. And this, like you said, this was a good kickoff match. It whet the appetite, it got everything going, and functioned in a very similar way to how New Japan runs their shows.
Exactly.
There's always at least one or two big multi-man tag matches just to get everyone on the card, get everyone seasoned up and warmed up, and it's all good stuff. So, this one was fine. It was a fine match. It satisfied.
And now we go to the pay-per-view itself.
And starting off with Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio.
This match was... a lot of people were actually praising this match.
Really?
Which baffled the hell out of me.
Certainly not Del Rio's fault. He was doing everything he could with this.
This was for me, it was a sloppy match.
It was. You're not wrong.
For a semifinals match, it seemed like they weren't really trying. And that's the big problem with this event. It didn't feel like they were trying. Well, for the most part, they didn't feel like they were trying. And they just went through the motions. There was a couple of spots where I was like, ugh, that was not pretty.
Mm.
And of course, we all saw coming Roman Reigns going over Del Rio.
Believe
that. Moving on.
Baby girl. Yeah.
There's nothing really to say. It's like it was a sloppy match, at least in my opinion, because I'm in the minority here.
It was too.
Do you feel like it was the match being sloppy?
To me, it wasn't sloppy. It was just sort of plodding and dull, no matter what Del Rio did. It picked up for a brief moment towards the end, but the pacing and the ending was so stale and predictable that it just sucked all the life out of the match for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, the night we were there, I think every single person was on their phones.
Yes.
And as soon as I noticed this, I went on my phone and I tweeted it.
Yeah.
So technically, the entire room was on their phones during this match.
I remember a couple years ago, a picture of me that we posted on our page.
Yes.
Of an Alberto Del Rio match, and he was facing against Christian for the World Heavyweight title. And then what was my picture? Me looking the other direction, not giving one care. That's how I felt about this match.
Oh, brother.
It was just as bad. And yeah, it was not an entertaining match.
But anyway, if you want entertainment, how about we go to this next match? Dean Ambrose going over Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens to advance in the finals.
I was not I was expecting this to be a good match. I was actually expecting a dirty finish with this one, because with Goldust hinting at his return, having an internet feud or a Twitter feud with Kevin Owens, and him saying like, "Keep that belt warm for me." That's not his exact words, but it was to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting Goldust to interfere, but you know what? I'm both happy that it was a clean finish, because clean finishes matter. Mm-hmm. It's no more. It's like, ugh, I'm sick of these dirty finishes.
Yeah.
But also, it's the fact of course, our boy KO taking the fall there. But I posted a Twitter saying, "This is how a tournament match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship should be."
Exactly.
This was match of the night for me.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Because even though that we don't want to see, again, we all know we like Owens, and we don't want to see him lose, generally, with a big tournament like this, you need to have stakes. There need to be hard decisions made.
Yeah.
Like, even though Owens lost, it wasn't for nothing. Like, he still lost to a top guy, and, we know he's going to have victories in the future.
And now they're going to have an Intercontinental Championship feud. That's going to be fun.
Him and Dean Ambrose?
Yep, he won the number 1 contenders match this past week on SmackDown against Ziggler and Tyler Breeze.
Fine, let's take another face out of the main event feud. Woohoo! But again, now it's my turn to digress. I'm sorry.
But hey, we get a good Intercontinental Championship feud. That makes me happy.
This is factually true, but again, I'll talk about that more in greater detail.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about with that part.
Oh, yes. In the meantime, we've got Survivor Series match number 2. We've got Ryback, the Usos, and the Lucha Dragons. Wait, did I miss somebody there? No. Going over New Day, Sheamus, and Wade Barrett. Wait, am I missing somebody here?
The New Day, Sheamus and Barrett, Ryback, the Lucha Dragons. No, that's the team. That's right. But
okay, I got it. Yeah.
I actually don't think this was the next match. I believe Charlotte and Paige was the next match. But we can talk about.
This is the order I've got them down.
All right. Let's talk about the Survivor Series match. There's one thing to really say about this Survivor Series match, that, like, something I noticed in this match that was going out through the entire night.
Yes.
The crowd was terrible.
It absolutely was. I noticed that.
Other than the Dean Ambrose Kevin Owens match, and maybe the Undertaker's entrance for his match, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
That was the most interactive this crowd was. The crowd was terrible. The crowd had little to no energy. Where were they? They were in. I don't remember where they were.
Whatever they were definitely.
It was definitely for this type of event.
It took the New Day to wake them up.
For this type of event, like, especially for the Undertaker's 25th, this should have been at, like, a New York crowd or a Chicago crowd. This should be a wrestling fan, like a hardcore wrestling fan event.
And we got this.
And we got this terrible crowd. They helped take the energy out of this event. And
the New Day thankfully did what the New Day does best.
They
brought it.
And must say, when they came out, and Sheamus trying to be all hip, yo, and New Day and Sheamus and Wade Barrett were just like, no, man, stop.
You ruined it.
I wanted to give Sheamus a hug. I actually posted Sheamus.
Yeah, they were in
Sheamus
Atlanta,
deserves
Georgia.
a hug. Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, Terrible crowd.
Ugh.
Terrible crowd. At that point, and then Sheamus started to be all hip, daddy-o, woo, and they all gave him a, like, are you kidding me look? At that point, I posted, I'm like, Sheamus deserves a hug. Hashtag, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay, sweetie. It's okay.
And there's this something, and the fact that the New Day walked out. This match should have been completely different.
It was.
I even talked to you.
So much better.
I talked to you about this on the way home after the event. Mm-hmm. Granted, you were half asleep at the time, but you know what? It's okay.
Guilty as charged. Well, then again, after an event like this, can you really blame me?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't blame you at all. Hell, the host of our party slept through most of the event.
This is true. It was so
but
crazy.
It's not even his fault because the event was just so terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm going to point out one major thing that this match did wrong later, because something happened later in the night that kind of ruined this. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think I do know what
and I'm
you're
sure
talking
all
about.
of you know what I'm talking about, but I'll go into full detail later. All in all, the weird GIF, whatever it's called, of the New Day, the New Day dancing and Kofi Kingston dancing with Wade Barrett, Kofi Kingston twerking. God damn you! That takes points off of you, Kofi Kingston. I hate twerking.
But it's the New Day.
But
don't you dare be sour.
Oh, I'm being
I'll be a 2-time twerking world champion.
Don't you? Oh my God! Stop it.
Okay.
Kofi
right.
Kingston, please do not twerk again. Please stop it. But other than that,
it's okay. We all know you preferred Big E's gyrations instead.
You know what? Whatever.
That's not a no.
It was.
You okay there?
I need another chug of clear liquid because this is really taking it all out of me.
It's okay. Big E's crotch will have that effect on many a person.
I was thinking of his man boobs, but okay.
Hey, whatever you're into, brother.
Whatever. Sure.
Whatever, baby.
Whatever helps me sleep at night.
Okay, we're going too far down the rabbit hole right now.
All I know is that the ending that this match did, it honestly should have happened a different way. The situation should have happened, but with different wrestlers. And the fact that New Day walked out, it just didn't fit.
Yeah, it was very poorly executed.
It just didn't seem like them to just walk out, you know? And that seems what they've been doing. They've just been having the New Days like, oh, we're going to do an open challenge. Oh, the Lucha Dragons came in?
Nah.
Never mind. We're taking our challenge back. What is this now of the New Days like, we're going to do something, nope, we're gone.
Honestly, I think it's not a bad step in the right direction. Because if they're trying to be heels and they're getting so super over, then what could be worse to get people to boo them than have them leave and not do their thing?
Here's the thing. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. But they should not have done it at Survivor Series. I can see them doing that now at on SmackDown, doing the open challenge bit. Them walking out at Survivor Series should not have happened. It should have been someone else walking out. And I'll go into more detail. But I wasn't into this match. I didn't care who won. New Day is fun, but you know what?
There was no build-up.
There was no. It meant absolutely nothing. Exactly, because we didn't know who was in this match. We had to do a bit on who we think. And granted, I got the heels right. Faces, I was off by a little bit.
But even so, it was just that to me says that there's not really a whole lot of creativity. It was predictable, and it didn't even capitalize on who they did put in the match.
No, it didn't, and that seems to be the problem with WWE nowadays. Like, I remember last year's Survivor Series. The Survivor Series match was actually a big deal.
As well it should be.
As well it should be, but there's a difference. John Cena, like the main event, with the main event guys was the Survivor Series match. because the guys in this year's Survivor Series match was lower card, it didn't matter. That seems to be the problem with WWE these days. If it's not main event, it doesn't matter.
And people wonder why people are phasing out.
And people are wondering why they're wondering why the ratings are so low. They're wondering why the people are so unhappy with the product. I can be perfectly honest. I didn't watch a single thing of wrestling this week.
Yeah, I tried to watch some of Raw, but just
I was
bored.
I watched none of it because I was so unhappy with the current product. I was like, you deserve to get these low ratings. Mm-hmm. And that's me coming. That's a wrestling fan saying that. I'm trying to make WWE wake up.
It's feeding time.
To not stop trying to force something that we don't want and give us something we naturally want, not something we are forced to want. And that I'm going to go more into that with the main event.
And I'm not going to say anything about it at all tonight because I know that I'm just going to save my thoughts for a later time because this is going to be a very big topic that could easily change.
Oh, I just want to hear.
Months.
I just want to hear your reaction to something I have to say later.
Okay, we'll get
because I know you're going to have a big reaction to this.
Okay, well, let's go right through it. Next match. Charlotte defeating Paige to retain her Divas Championship. This one was okay.
This was a good match. No real complaint. Well, of the technicality, there's no real complaints. It's of the storytelling. And it's something that that was one of the big discussions on the prediction show last week.
It didn't capitalize on the heat after the whole Reed Flair incident.
Exactly. And WWE tried their hardest to not bring that up.
Which
hurt it.
Yeah.
It hurt it. That was, like, even though it was in people's case, bad taste. Hell, a friend of mine...
who cares? Y'all are cowards. Roll
it's like my friend, like Fred Ricciani from the Sports Courier tells me. Well, he didn't tell me. He said it on a show that it was in poor taste. Yet, that was the thing we're talking about because they're reaching it to a sour level. The fact that you took the sour level out of it, now it's like, really? Now you're just... Now why do we care? Because now they took the personal story out of it because people had negative response to it.
Well, there is one other thing to care about in this show. Paige.
Oh, love Paige. And they're going to keep going with this feud, which I love, with her claiming that Charlotte cheated, that someone's hand or foot was under the ropes when she tapped out.
I still say that eventually next month, if they do a rematch of TLC, Paige is going to win that one. And I'm still literally banking on
the Bouse
on the Bouse to show up at the Royal Rumble.
We'll see on that.
Do with a feud that takes her into WrestleMania.
I'm seeing a triple threat if that's the case.
Either way, I want the Boss at WrestleMania.
I think we're going to get the Bouse.
I want the Bouse.
All right, well, that's all we got to say about this one. Pretty decent.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. Speaking of pretty decent, look everyone, it's Tyler! It's a Tyler Breeze match. And he wins. Beating Dolph Ziggler. Aren't you happy?
I would have been happy if Tyler Breeze wasn't in the World Heavyweight title tournament. This should have been Tyler Breeze's debut.
Totally agreed.
They ruined it. The whole point was to build up Tyler Breeze to make him look good. To make him look good for the main roster. What's the point now? He already had his debut match and he lost to great effect to Dean Ambrose.
I beg to differ with that. Personally, just given who we're talking about here, I mean, as far as WWE is concerned, he is still sort of an established name. Was that probably the wisest course of action? No. Absolutely. But also, I don't think it also hurt him nearly as much.
It hurt him from my eyes. I feel like if they want, there's no point to this victory now because we've already seen we've already seen him in the ring in the main roster, and they show they have nothing to do with him now because they had him get taken out by Dean Ambrose. They should have had him. If anything, they should have had Tyler Breeze. They shouldn't have had Tyler Breeze in the World Heavyweight Title match.
Well, then again, we could be here all day talking about what they should have done.
Oh, well, yeah, but you really gotta say, Tyler Breeze did not deserve to be in that tournament.
That's why we're not talking about that not anymore. It's a misstep.
A huge misstep that I think hurt his character.
But I also really, really don't think it overshadowed him here.
Because no one cared. It did. Because it ended up no one caring.
I cared.
I didn't.
I still cared.
I didn't care anymore.
It's the starting point that he should have had, and then, to me, it came across as better late than never, for one. And number two, I've actually really enjoyed what Tyler Breeze and Summer Rae are doing together. I've actually been enjoying their little shenanigans. I
just felt like, okay, now if like I said, he did this whole pre-show answering, quote unquote, answering tweets, because he really didn't.
He was being Tyler Breeze.
He was being Tyler Breeze, yeah, but the whole point is like, okay, you're supposed to be a tough guy, the tough pretty boy, facing another tough pretty boy. But now it's like, okay, well, we already know you're just as vulnerable as the rest of the lower card. I was hoping maybe this win against the former World Heavyweight Champion might do something for you. Nope.
Well, it just happened.
Well, that's exactly what happened. It just happened. It didn't leave any effect on me.
Well, it's only been 1 week.
Well, yeah, it's only been 1 week, but it should have been 1 week building this guy up to be a tough shit, and it ended up blowing up in his face because they ruined it by adding him in a tournament he didn't deserve to be there in the first place.
I'll tell you what. Give this until maybe like the Royal Rumble. See what they do with him there. Because one match, I don't care who you are, one match, in my eyes, cannot spoil an entire run of a guy.
It spoiled it for me. It's like what we've been talked about before. The debut makes the man, and the fact
Did I say that
we've talked about it. We were talking about it before with you, me, and Brian.
I don't recall saying that.
How it mainly stems from the whole Asuka NXT debut match.
Oh, that
like the debut like this should have been Tyler Breeze's debut match to leave a good impression, and they took that away from Tyler Breeze so he can be in the World Heavyweight Title match and get taken out by Dean Ambrose.
See, again, this is the one thing I'm going to say, and I'm just going to leave it alone. As far as comparing it to the Asuka debut, my feelings have really remained the same. Just because a so-called debut, which I'm hesitant to even call it that because of all of Tyler Breeze's time in NXT, it's not the end of the story. It's the beginning chapter. Sure, a really good, strong debut will certainly help a guy or girl, but it's also not the end of it, even if it is. Sure, it may slow down the momentum right out of the gate if it's not like, oh, this is crazy, it's stellar, it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But it's not enough. It may slow momentum to the top, but it's not going to drag the guy to a dead stop.
He's reaching the same level as Fandango.
Everyone keeps saying that. Honestly, I'm of the standpoint, I personally doubt it, but again, that's the great part. Only time will tell. And right now, again, he's just getting started on the main roster no matter what. So
he's going to end up being in a tag team with Fandango, and he's going to be one of those jobber tag teams.
That would also involve bringing Fandango back, period.
To be a jobber tag team to the stars, to the star tag teams, hence like the Usos, the Lucha Drag. There's going to be another ascension.
We'll wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the match itself,
it just happened. It didn't leave any mark on me.
I just like the Prince Pretty one.
Of course you do.
Yes, of course I do. I think Tyler's good, and I still believe in Tyler Breeze. I will convert the whole world to Breezeism. Just you wait and see. In the meantime, next match, we've got The Undertaker and Kane defeating the team of Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, of all people.
I said this before. Luke Harper, I was saying it plenty clear, Luke Harper should have been the one to be chosen in this match. And it actually baffled you and Brian when I said this. Because it was the whole argument and saying, I don't see Braun Strowman carrying a match. Well, I was expecting this match to be a lot longer. The only thing that we can really say about this match, Undertaker had a fantastic entrance.
And that's pretty much the entire match period.
This match...
It was all about The Undertaker, which, for better or for worse.
This was pretty much a repeat of 2 weeks ago. When The Undertaker and Kane first came back from being abducted by the Wyatt family.
I know.
And that's the problem. The fact that the Wyatt family got taken out twice so easily to The Undertaker and Kane, who Bray Wyatt was absorbing their quote-unquote powers, their souls. I was expecting at least this match to be a lot longer, actually, and to be not... This was pretty much... It was pretty much a squash.
It really was, unfortunately.
I hate to say it because a lot of people, us included, even Brian included, we are so high on the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt has to be one of the best talkers that WWE has right now. If he has to be in the top 5, hell, maybe in the top 3 of the current main roster talkers. I would say, not in particular order, him, Dean Ambrose, and Kevin Owens have to be the best talking wrestlers on the current roster right now.
The one thing I can say about this match, I'm all for honoring the 25 years of The Undertaker. I think it's a great idea. And this match was not The Undertaker's fault. It's not Kane's fault. It's not anybody in the Wyatt family's fault. It was the way this match was booked.
Yes.
I'm all for paying homage to The Undertaker and everything he's done. Super cool entrance, super cool moment. But there had to have been a better way to pull this off. Because it was a squash match. It really didn't mean anything outside of a really neat little entrance. And it just made what could be one of the biggest, scariest factions in WWE and characters look like a joke. I'm all for paying homage to The Undertaker and paying respects to The Undertaker. But, I'm sorry, this was not the way to do it.
This was not at all the way to do it. And the only reason I picked Taker and Kane was, I said it last week, I wanted to follow, last time I followed my heart, Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar at Hell in a Cell. I was just listening to my mind because I knew WWE booking is just completely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact, honestly, the real smart thing to do was to have the Wyatt family win. Undertaker didn't need this win. He really didn't.
No, he doesn't. He's the Undertaker. He doesn't need much of anything these
days. He's wrestled as the Undertaker for 25 years. That's a milestone in itself. That's something, even though he may have lost the match, he's been wrestling for 25 years as the Dead Man.
And he's still healthy.
This match didn't need to be a squash. The Wyatt family, especially Bray Wyatt, it doesn't matter that he didn't get pinned. It's still the fact that he lost. And that's been the problem with Bray Wyatt for a long time. He hasn't won, the only real big feud that he's won was against Daniel Bryan. He's lost to John Cena. He's lost to Roman Reigns. He's lost to The Undertaker twice. This is people are saying Bray Wyatt doesn't need to win.
That's
I 150% disagree on that.
That is absolute crap.
And that's something you said while we were watching it. Because a couple of our friends, Bray Wyatt he's reached the point where win and loses don't matter. Yes, it does.
Every win and loss matters. I don't care who says it or who you're talking about.
The only time
wins and losses matter.
The only time when losses don't matter is when you're on the verge of retirement. Undertaker is 25 years. He could lose every match from now on till he retires. It's not going to hurt his career because he's made such a historic career.
Yeah, but even
and this is me saying this, saying that the man who got me into wrestling in the first place doesn't need to win any more matches because he's already made his name in history plenty of times.
Does Undertaker need those wins? Absolutely not. I totally agree with you in that regard. But this whole mentality of wins and losses don't matter is still absurd. Even if they won't hurt someone's perception or image less, like in the rare case of an Undertaker, but to say that wins and losses don't matter, yes, they do. They always matter, and they always need to matter. Especially in the case of someone like Bray Wyatt,
who's still fresh in his career.
Yeah, the mentality, I don't care where it comes from. If this mentality of wins and losses don't matter, because it's predetermined wrestling, herp, then how are we as fans supposed to get invested with this in any way?
Thank you.
It's this core view that's hurting the Wyatts. It's hurting what could have been a great performance by The Undertaker and Kane, and it's ultimately hurting the experience as a fan. That's all I got to say about this match. It's a disappointment.
Yes. And as a huge fan of Undertaker and Kane, this was the biggest letdown of the night. I was angry after this match. I didn't care what the main event was. I actually wanted to go home.
No,
but I stayed because I was enjoying the company, and really that was it. I was enjoying the company.
Yeah, and if I had gotten a hint that the show was going to end the way it did, I probably would have joined you. So let's go right into it.
Well, I was your ride, so you had no choice.
But still, you could have said something. It was like, oh yeah, here's spoilers for the rest of the night.
Well, I was in good company, and I wanted to see if WWE wanted to go down the dangerous road, which leads to our main event.
Roman Reigns defeating Dean Ambrose in 9 minutes in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight title.
What the hell was that?
And then, as if it couldn't get any better, we had Sheamus cash in, bro kick 1, 2, 3. Sheamus is your new champion.
Okay, let's start with the match with Dean Ambrose first.
Okay.
Oh God, where do I begin? The fact that you said it yourself, 9 minutes. No, other than how long was Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at SummerSlam?
Oh, jeez, I don't remember.
12? It wasn't that
not 9 minutes. That's all I know.
Here, I'll look it up when you're talking. When you're venting out your frustrations in this massacre, you're taking the top 2 faces of your company, facing them against each other. That's good. And the whole speculation is that we've been talking about, that the whole world has been talking about, is one of them, no matter what, WWE, this tournament is bringing out the new top heel of your company, the top villain, because Seth Rollins is out. You need a new top villain of wrestling wise, because Triple H can't be the top villain because he's a part timer.
And so they picked Sheamus.
They took the guys who, in my opinion, I thought their best road was Roman Reigns. Some people thought the best road was Dean Ambrose, even though I have big disagreements on that.
But either one of those options would have been way better than Sheamus.
Oh yeah, because the big problem is Sheamus is a transitional champion.
I feel that way for other reasons, honestly.
He is the main focus of the Sheamus winning the title. Oh, and here's the something I wanted to talk with you about to get your reaction for. The main first thing I read it. I made the claim: Sheamus winning the Money in the Bank, or cashing in, winning the title, was determined hours before the show. That was true. That actually happened.
Yes,
they planned it 2 hours before the event. That's fail number 1. Fail number 2 is that they're trying to get us to get behind Roman Reigns, similar to how the fans were behind Daniel Bryan. They kept preventing him from winning the title just so we can grow sympathy for Roman Reigns the same way we gain sympathy for Daniel Bryan. That is their exact reason they're not giving the title.
You know what? I heard that, but there's a couple things that are very, very wrong with that.
And I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say? I want to hear it.
The difference between that with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns is that we're not being forced to gain sympathy for him. We had sympathy for Daniel Bryan because it's not storyline-wise that they're keeping him away from the title. It's because they were backstage, real life, keeping him away from the title. They weren't pushing him as the big star because backstage didn't want him to be the big star. The difference with Roman Reigns, they want us to like Roman Reigns because they want him to be the top babyface of the company.
What you just described is reason number 1 why I'm very disappointed with this. Reason number 2 is the people who are doing this, if that's their real logic, have to be the most incompetent people who are booking in wrestling today. Because like you mentioned, people liked Daniel Bryan first before this started going on. The people who are trying to replicate this, if this is actually what they're doing, they have no idea what made Daniel Bryan a star. They have no idea what makes people a star. They don't know how people understand how wrestling fans work. They don't even understand how wrestling works. They don't know how to book it. And they're working for easily if not one of the biggest professional wrestling organizations in the world. That, to me, just tells me that whoever you've got in charge, whether it's Vince McMahon or exercising his veto power, or one of the bookers, or one of the road agents, or one of the writers, there's just a huge, huge mound of unprofessionalism and incompetence at work here that is absolutely mind-blowing in ways that I can't even... It's almost like a car wreck how terrible this is. Like, it's just so disastrous and so mind-boggling. Like, let's say you're just driving down the road and all of a sudden you just see not a car blasted into a tree, but half a car wrecked into a phone pole, into like a power pole, and then you've got the other half of the car not in just like another power pole a block down the road, but also on top of it, just like balancing on like a wheel on its side. You'd be like, yeah, it's a horrible waste of life, but how on earth is this possible? That's what I think of when I think of the booking team of this thing. And you know what? I'm going to say this now. This is actually so ridiculous I'm going to have to say it. This is turning into... I'm starting to feel like how I felt last year. Where it's all going to come down to how they book the Royal Rumble, how they handle everything into the Royal Rumble. And if this is genuinely, honestly not going in a somewhat competent area going into WrestleMania season, I just lost all my regained confidence in the company, and I will once again close out my subscription. Because even though they're still going to be profitable for in the near future, due to all the other subscriptions into the WWE Network, I'm just going to stick to my guns, and I will not continue supporting WWE with my money if this happens. I'm not that tied down. I'll just go back to watching New Japan or whatever.
Oh, just talking about this, just you and I discussing this whole thing is just leaving me like shaking. I am so frustrated with WWE right now, and I'm so glad everyone else is too. everyone is just so unhappy with the product. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. I was so unhappy with the product. I chose not to watch Raw. I chose not to watch SmackDown because the product is so bad that I'm just like, you know what? You, WWE, your ratings are getting so low, lowest in your history. You are deserving this. You are deserving to get these low ratings because you are not even trying to entertain us. We are telling you what we want. We are cheering for someone like Dean Ambrose. We are cheering for someone like Cesaro. We've cheered for someone like Damien Sandow. Damien Sandow, when he was with Miz, was one of the most popular things going on. He was more popular than Reigns. And where is he now? Hashtag, where's Sandow?
On Superstars the last time we saw?
He's slowly getting back, but he's in such a low spot. When they do those big cuts, I will cry. Because most likely Damien Sandow might be one of those guys who are getting cut. And that's hurtful because he is such a great talker. He's another great talker. He's had a 5-star match, 2 of them, with John Cena for the when he cashed in his Money in the Bank. He had a great match. Yes, he lost, but at least he didn't cheat to win. He didn't knock the champion out and gain the win. He actually is like, I'm making this an official match, and he fought his ass off against John Cena in a very good match, and he lost. But now, after that, he's become so far down grace.
Yeah, that's
the fact
we could be here all night talking about individual instances of how the WWE is messed up. But I'm just going to end it with this. The fact, I have nothing against Sheamus. I like Sheamus. I've liked Sheamus since he's debuted. Sheamus should not have won the title tonight. Sheamus should not be your top heel because he is a transitional champion. If he's going to lose the belt at the Royal Rumble. Sheamus is only considered to be a transitional champion because WWE has made him look that way. Sheamus could be so much better if built the right way, as could so many other people. They've taken everything great about Sheamus, why we first started to like him, and completely ignored him and stripped him down to his most basic.
And that takes us back to the Survivor Series match. He was doing that whole hip yo, and they made him look like a complete idiot. And then the New Day walked out on him, and he got basically eaten alive by Ryback, Kalisto, and one of the Usos.
And he's supposed to be your main event
heel. And now I'm going to go back to the fantasy booking. Sheamus should have been the one to walk out. It should have been him and a member of the New Day left. And because the New Day was giving him so much shit, he was building up the frustrations. He would bro kick let's say he bro kicked Xavier Woods. He would get big heat for that because Xavier Woods and the New Day is so popular with the fans. Would get big heat for that, and then he would just walk out saying, I don't need this. I don't need to be in this match. I'm Mr. Money in the Bank. I am better than that. I'm going Drew McIntyre. I'm better than this.
He actually is.
Yeah, and he walks out, leaving the New Day to be taken out.
All right, I'm going to close out my thoughts on this pay-per-view as a whole and this match with actually a Scholar's Quick Talk question that I've got for myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Scholar's Quick Talk. One question. WWE's creative staff is actually just a bunch of trained monkeys with laptops.
It has to be. It has to be. Because they don't understand what the hell we want. They don't understand. I don't know if it's Vince McMahon being in their ear saying, give us Roman Reigns. Hence the 2016 picture. Have a 5-star match with Roman Reigns and then lose to him.
Ugh.
Make him look good. Have us gain sympathy for him. Force us to like him. That is wrong. We have to we have to naturally get behind him. Do you think we were forced to like someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin? Do you think we were forced to like someone like Mick Foley, The Undertaker, The Rock, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose? Do you think we were forced to like these guys? No! We like them because they were entertaining. They are great talent. Cesaro, Damian Sandow. They took something and made it gold. They made us want to watch them. And I have nothing against Roman Reigns. I actually think he's well in the ring. He does entertaining things in the ring.
He's good but not great.
He's good but not great. And the fact that you're trying so hard to force him down our throats is why we hate him in the first place.
You can't make filet mignon out of chicken nuggets.
Exactly.
Chicken nuggets are good on their own, but just let them be chicken nuggets. Don't try and
which
sell
is
them
why
at the Waldorf Astoria for
which is why
5,000 times the price.
I personally felt, I'm going to say this again, Roman Reigns needed this heel turn. He needed it. He needed to have the authority behind him to be his mouthpiece, and then have him say something to the final say, and then develop him as a hardcore heel. Get him to develop his character more than just the typical baby face. Believe that.
I'll say this. I said this the night of, and this actually will be my very last thought on this entire match and this pay-per-view as a whole. Out of all the ways, this could have gone so many different ways and made it interesting. They could have turned Roman Reigns heel, had him won the title that way, and then really got some spotlight on him and protected him for later on down the road. You could have had Dean Ambrose turn heel. Let me explain. Let me explain. Let me finish.
Okay.
And Marma said, or can I finish? If, let's say, Dean Ambrose was the one to turn heel, WWE could have had their super face that they wanted in Roman Reigns. We, as fans, could be more engaged with a properly booked main event level heel in Dean Ambrose, which we thought he was going to turn into years ago. But out of all the available options that we saw coming, no matter which one you preferred, which I totally agree with you, Roman turning heel would be the much more preferred option out of those two. Instead, they took the third option, which ended up being the safest, most boring, most uninteresting, most panderingly stupid option they possibly could have taken. And it was stale, and it was predictable, and it was stupid, and it was insulting my intelligence. Which basically sums up the entirety of this pay-per-view as a whole. With this pay-per-view, I can't give it... I'm going to have to give it a peach fuzz.
Okay. For my final thoughts, I can't... No matter how many times you, Dave, anyone has told me, right now, the worst thing you could have done with Dean Ambrose is turn him heel. You can't turn him heel now. He is one of the...
I agree.
He is one of the biggest things going on right now. He should be listed as the top babyface.
I totally agree. I'm just attempting to illustrate that even if they did do that, which probably wouldn't be the wisest idea, it's still much better than what we got.
Oh, it is. But I put it as two roads, a fork in the road last week. I made it a fork in the road. There was the safe route with Roman Reigns winning the title and turning heel and me going with what I said, the loser of that tournament would go on to win the Royal Rumble, which is Dean Ambrose, and give us the Dean Ambrose Roman Reigns feud with a heel Roman Reigns backed by the Authority just for business. Nothing personal that how Seth Rollins did it. It's just business. Hence, if Roman Reigns beat Dean Ambrose and shook Triple H's hand instead of spearing him, I actually would have been okay with the ending. Would have actually been decent. But the fact that it was still 9 minutes. The danger was having Dean Ambrose turn heel, because the first thing that would happen is have people pop for Dean Ambrose taking out Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose winning the title, which is not what WWE needs. We need something to boo, not to cheer. And now and that was the dangerous road. And now we went the unexpected, dirt road. That wasn't paved. It was just batshit insane. And that's having Sheamus cash in because they don't care. They just want to keep making us gain sympathy for Roman Reigns. They're trying to force us to like Roman Reigns, and you can't have us force it. And this road lets us basically straight down to pretty much the worst time in WWE in recent memory. This is so bad. I've been dealing with WWE the past couple years when they're in their low. This was low enough to where I didn't want to watch wrestling, and this hasn't happened in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this entire event was for nothing. This event meant nothing. It didn't help any of the stars that we want to see put over. It just wasted all of our time. I actually said this Sunday, and it's an automatic peach for us because I liked Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, and I liked Paige versus Charlotte, and I liked Undertaker's entrance.
That's it.
I still like those, but the fact that now us discussing it even more and me thinking about it this entire week, and the fact that this made me not want to be a wrestling fan, I have to go lower than a clean shaven. I have to give this the biggest middle finger. It's clean. I'm going to make it clean shaven because we don't have anything lower than that. But I'm giving WWE the biggest middle finger I can give it. I'm so angry being a wrestling fan right now. I'm shaking because I'm so angry with what they're doing right now. You said it best. They're insulting our intelligence. They don't give a shit about us. The fact that we're telling them what we want, but it's not what they want, so we're just gonna say, "Here, give us oh, we want this candy bar. Oh no, you don't want that candy bar. Here, have this candy bar. It's a lot better."
Fuck you, eat a Slim Jim.
Fuck you, eat a Slim Jim. This is okay. Nice.
Sorry.
This is that episode of Doug. With the Mr. Swirl with this candy bar.
It tastes like cement.
It tastes like cement. Here, this isn't we want this.
Bluff Scout Booster bar.
This isn't the official Bluff Scout Booster bar. It tastes like cement because it is cement. Because they care because they didn't know. They know what's going on now.
I would even question that. They're just too stupid to see it.
They know what's going on because they want us to gain sympathy for Roman Reigns. They're trying to force us to give Roman Reigns a chance. But it has to be natural. You can't force these things. And they're trying to make us do something that happened years ago, which years ago was natural. Trying to force it upon us. Trying to insult our intelligence. I can't do it.
Roman Reigns, as far as I'm concerned, is the symptom, not the actual problem itself. The problem itself is actually ever since the CM Punk thing happened, I've seen now that it's far more fundamental and core to how the WWE works from day to day. It's just depressing. Again,
# why don't you care?
I'm serious. WWE, this is my ultimatum. You've got until the Royal Rumble. If you don't make something good happen, then I'm out again. I'm done. I'm going to New Japan and with my Nakamura's and my DVD fills, and I'm not coming back. But you know what? We want to know what you think. If you're listening to this, we want to know your opinion on what's going on with Survivor Series.
Are you just
everything else?
Are you just as angry about it as we are?
Probably. So tell us all about it. Drop us a line on this video. Make a comment. If you like what you hear, like this video. Subscribe if you want to hear more. You can also follow us on Facebook at the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Look for us there. And you can, of course, you can follow us on our Twitter machines on our main page at ScholarsOW. You can also get Scholar Brian at Atomic Beanpole, me at I'm Robbie Rage, all one word, and Fool. You at where?
I'm at the Avataric.
The Avataric. There you go. So, those are our extended thoughts on Survivor Series and everything that's going on. You know what we said. You know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Let's look back to a better day next week.
this is just nothing but sourness until Royal Rumble.
Bring it.